This is the Well Body Podcast with your host, Renee, the place where everyday women learn how to stop running on empty, reset their energy, nourish their bodies, and feel strong again. Let's get into it. Picture this. You wake up and your stomach feels calm. You have steady energy throughout the day, not relying on coffee just to function. You're not constantly bloated, uncomfortable, or wondering why your digestion feels off. Meals feel simple. Snacks feel nourishing. You feel clear-headed, patient, and more like yourself. You're still busy. You still have responsibilities. You still have kids needing things from you. But your body feels supported because gut health does not need to be complicated, and it definitely does not need to be perfect. Welcome back to the Gut series. Today, we are talking about gut health for busy mums because the reality is many mums are eating on the go, finishing their kids' leftovers, drinking coffee instead of eating meals, rushing through the day, running on low sleep, feeling stressed as fuck, and feeling stretched mentally and physically. And when this becomes the norm, digestion is often one of the first systems to struggle. Bloating, low energy, constipation, cravings, feeling inflamed, feeling agitated, feeling uncomfortable in your body, and feeling as though everyone in your house annoys you just by breathing. But gut health doesn't require an overhaul of your entire life. It requires supportive systems. And today I'm going to share practical ways to support your gut even when life feels full. So gut health can suffer during busy seasons of your life. It's influenced by more than just food because it's influenced by stress levels, sleep quality, meal timing, hydration, movement, food variety, eating speed, and your nervous system state. When life feels chaotic, these things are often the first things to slip, like skipping breakfast or eating late at night, grabbing quick snacks, relying on convenience foods, eating quickly while multitasking, not drinking enough water, and feeling constantly on. So when the nervous system is constantly in go mode, digestion can become less efficient because the body prioritizes survival over digestion. And the gut works best when the body feels safe enough to relax. So the 5 foundations of gut health for busy mamas out there is as follows. But I don't want you to aim for perfection. I want you to aim for supportive rhythms, okay? So these 5 foundations can make the biggest difference. Number 1 is consistent meals. Have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 3 consistent meals a day with protein, with fiber, and making sure you're drinking enough water and then slowing down enough to digest. So maybe it means you have 3 consistent meals a day where you're actually sitting down and eating. Who's guilty of making the lunch boxes in the morning and scoffing down breakfast at the same time, or even just having a coffee? And I'm raising my hand because I definitely used to be guilty of that. But now I sit down and I have breakfast with my kids, and I don't care if I'm dropping them off with a couple minutes to go. I would rather sit down and have that nourishing time with myself and my children. So we're all eating mindfully and we're not rushing to go here, rushing to go there, because what does that create? It creates unsafety with our nervous system. And if we feel rushed and stressed and overwhelmed, imagine how our children feel. So it's so important that you are taking your time to have those consistent meals. They have got protein, they have got fiber, and you are drinking enough water. So the top 5 foundations for your gut health, moms, is consistent meals, protein intake, fiber intake, hydration, and slowing down to digest. All right, these don't need to be complicated. They just need to be consistent. Now, if you can get these 5 foundations in place as best you possibly can, as consistently as you possibly can, it's going to make a massive difference to how you feel. So let's break these foundations up. All right, let's go over them a little bit more in a little bit more depth. So foundation 1, which is don't skip your meals. Be consistent with your meals, because if we are skipping meals and then we're not eating a balanced meal for our first meal, what we can actually do is have a blood sugar crash. We have stronger sugar cravings. Our energy is lower. We're overeating later and poor digestion. Simple options are perfectly okay. So I'm going to give you some examples as to what you can have that are quite simple, so that you are not skipping meals and running on empty and literally just going into the bakery and grabbing a coffee and a croissant, because that's not going to give you the protein and the fiber that you need to help with your gut and to help with your energy. I'm not saying you can't have that every now and again, but we're trying to get some good foundations in place here, okay? So examples are Greek yogurt with some berries and nuts. Simple, easy. Can put it together the night before if you need to, or you can put it together in the morning. Eggs on toast. Simple, genius. If you want to spice it up, a little bit of sauerkraut, a little bit of avocado, a little bit of spinach. Easy, done. Or you can just have the eggs on toast, especially if you're running late and you just need to get some fuel in the tank, and you're going to do that mindfully. You could have leftovers from dinner. There's nothing wrong with having leftovers from dinner, okay? Oats with chia seeds, sourdough with some avocado and some eggs, and if worst comes to worst, you could have a protein smoothie. Now, I say this because I don't want you to rely on just drinking smoothies. It's not a good habit to get into. You need to actually chew your food, see your food, hold your food, eat your food. It's a massive part of the digestive process and your brain registering that it's eating. But if we're just drinking every meal that we have, we're probably not going to feel as satisfied, as energized, and as satiated as we could. So every now and again, a smoothie is so fine, but it's not really ideal for every single day to start your day that way. Okay? Now, I want you to remember that sometimes being simple with it all is powerful. Simple is genius. And the goal is nourishment, okay? It's not about perfection. It's about doing the best that we can with the tools that we have, okay? So I really want you to aim for that. Now, let's move down to foundation 2, which is protein. Protein will help you to stay full and energized. It helps with stabilizing your blood sugar. It helps to support your muscle health. It helps to reduce your cravings, improve satiety, which means keeping you full, support your recovery, and also your hormone health. Now, depending on how old you are and how old your kids are, you're all going through so much. You know, women, especially women that have teenagers or kids and they're going through perimenopause, you're going through a lot. And so you need to make sure you're giving your body the support that she needs. Protein is going to be one of those things, okay? So easy protein ideas for you are having boiled eggs in the fridge. Easy, put a bit of salt and pepper, eat your egg. You can mash it up and put it on a cracker. Like, boiled eggs can be so diverse and they're easy. You don't even need to do anything with them. You can just boil it and eat it. Greek yogurt, another one of my favorites. I use Greek yogurt a lot. Cottage cheese, another great one. Chicken leftovers. I sometimes do crumb chicken as well. It's a great little protein snack. Protein smoothies, they fit in better for a snack than they do for breakfast. Tinned tuna or salmon, you can have some protein oats, little chia puddings. There are so many ways that you can include more protein, okay, at each meal where possible. But these are the easiest protein ideas because they are either in a container, a packet, a can, or you've pre-made them the night before and they last really well in the fridge for a good few days. So you can grab and go. Okay, my favorite is probably chia pudding, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, and big, massive fan of having some crumb chicken as a protein bar snack every now and again. So your goal is to prioritize finding ways to get easy protein in, okay? If you're finding it overwhelming, just stick to the simple basics. Simple always wins. Okay, moving on to foundation 3. So we want to increase your fiber gradually for gut support. The reason I say gradually is because sometimes when we go from eating not enough fiber to then all of a sudden increasing our fiber, we can sometimes feel a little bit bloated or irritable or even gassy. So make sure that you are gradually, doing this. And we need to incorporate more fiber because fiber feeds the beneficial gut bacteria. It also supports your digestion, your fullness, your blood sugar, your hormone health, and regular bowel movements. So some easy fiber additions is adding seeds to yogurt, adding spinach and flax seeds to smoothies, choosing whole grain bread over white bread, adding beans or lentils to as many meals as you can, include some fruit daily, like some kiwi fruit or some blueberries, whatever's in season or whatever you can get that is like a berry, for example, frozen, and adding vegetables to your meals such as lunch and dinner. So you don't need to go and buy extreme fiber supplements and you don't need extreme fiber intake. You just need to gradually increase your variety. And we want to aim for diversity across the week. So let's say, for example, this week your breakfast is going to be a combination of I'm going to have a yogurt bowl one day, and then I'm going to have oats the next day, and I'm going to alternate between those two today. You might diversify the fruit that you use. You might diversify the seeds that you use as a way to change it up a little bit in terms of diversity for your gut, okay? With your smoothies, you might change the berry, you might change the green that you add. So there's this diversity that's happening. Okay, so it doesn't need to be like too confusing. Just go, cool, I had blueberries yesterday. I might have cherries today. And I had cherries today, so I'm going to have some boiled apple tomorrow and some cinnamon. You're just adding little things each day to diversify your plants. Okay, so that's how we're going to increase our fiber. Now, foundation 4, hydration. Hydration matters more than people realize. Low hydration can contribute to constipation, fatigue, headaches, sluggish digestion, and sugar cravings. And sometimes the reason we feel like shit is because we've not been drinking enough water. And it seems like such a simple fix, right? But a lot of us walk around not drinking enough. I honestly have to always ask some of my clients that see me regularly, did you bring your drink bottle? Do you need a glass of water? Have you had enough water? Do you need some water? I am like the water police because it is so important. It is more important than you realize. Busy mums especially often forget to drink water. And a simple habit is keeping a water bottle visible, drink a glass of water with meals, add electrolytes if it's helpful, herbal teas count as well. Hydration supports every system in the body. Just be mindful though with electrolytes, I just want to touch on this real quick. If you're not super active, you're not, perspirating, like sweating a lot, and you're eating a variety of fruits and vegetables, and you're adding salt to your meals, you don't really need to go and have a whole lot of electrolytes. If you struggle to drink water though, and it's one of the ways you're going to get it in, that's fine. Add a little sachet of electrolytes to your water. Just be really careful you don't overdo it because it can be a bad thing too by overdoing electrolytes. And you actually find yourself getting more thirsty because it's done the opposite. So just be mindful when it comes to electrolytes. Not everyone needs to take them. I would just say if you really, really struggle to get in your water in general, then yeah, it could be a great tool. Okay? Right. Foundation 5, slowing down where possible because digestion actually starts in the brain. If the body feels stressed, digestion is less efficient. So we need to try and sit down for meals where possible. Take a few breaths before eating, avoid eating while rushing between tasks, pause for a moment before snacks, create small moments of calm in the day because even 5 minutes of slowing down can support your digestion. You got to remember this. Being a mom, especially when your kids are younger, it's not forever. Like it's such a short time in your life. And this is something I've had to learn myself too. Like the washing can wait. The fucking dirty windows, like, does it really matter? Are the dirty windows really that big of a deal? If it means that you can just have a moment to sit down, have some food, and just have a slow half an hour before the kids get home, then who gives a shit about the windows? Fuck the windows. Focus on yourself. Because at the end of the day, like, does it really matter? Your kids are not going to look back and be like, oh my God, Mum, our windows in our house were just so bad. They were so terrible. I can't believe we used to live with windows like that. I'm being a little bit over the top here, but you get what I mean? We've got to put ourselves first. And sometimes that means a little bit of sacrifice. And to me, putting yourself first is not sacrifice. But sacrificing the things you think you should be doing, they can go. They can get fucked. I know I've said the F word quite a lot. I'm really sorry. I don't try not to swear on my podcast, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't matter. I would rather you spend 5 minutes of doing a bit of deep breathing so that you can find calm within your body and your nervous system again. And then you might actually have the capacity to do that stuff later. Or if you have the financial capacity, you might hire someone to help you do that stuff and let go a little bit because there's a lot of power in letting go too. But mama, you need to slow down where possible because it's really going to impact your gut health and your digestion and your mental health if you're always running around like a headless chicken. Okay? So those are your foundations, those 5 foundations that you need to get in place to help with your gut, to help with better gut health. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a realistic gut-friendly meal structure now, but I really just want to reiterate the fact that, you can look at what you're already doing and just add into what you're doing. So if you're already having toast for breakfast, how can you make that more fibrous and add protein? And then if you want to take it even further, some good fats. You know what I mean? So how can you change what you're already doing? Or if you're ready for a bit of an overhaul, because at the moment you're either not having anything or you just eat a lot of ultra-processed foods, here's a really good gut-friendly meal structure that I'm going to suggest you follow. So your breakfast options could be eggs on toast, Greek yogurt bowls, protein oats, chia puddings, and worst case scenario, protein smoothie, and I've told you why. Then your lunch options could be leftovers because you made more at dinner so that you had lunch leftovers. It could be eggs on toast again with avocado, not if you've had it for breakfast though, okay? Could be a soup, a nourishing soup with some sourdough. It could be a legume salad that you've pre-made in the fridge, okay? And I've got heaps of recipes. If you click the link below, you'll be able to download the Fiber Boost recipe guide, which has some incredible legume recipes in it that are so easy to put together. It's literally just a matter of you buying legumes in a can, chopping up some vegetables, adding a bit of seasoning, lemons, herbs, etc. Boom, you've got yourself a high fiber, gut nourishing salad, okay? So you could have something like that in the fridge that you add with a piece of salmon or some eggs or some Greek yogurt or some cottage cheese or some tofu, okay? So that could be something you do. A protein salad, so you've got all this prepped protein that you've made ahead of time and you've just chucked together a seasonal salad with a whole lot of greens and veggies that you have in your fridge, and also even just like a wrap and with some protein in a salad, and try go for a whole grain wrap if possible. So, there are some really easy ways that you can get in enough fiber and protein just by having a few hot choices for lunch that you kind of repeat and go back and forth to. And then we have dinner. Keep it simple. Protein, vegetables, carbohydrate, healthy fats, okay? Don't feel as though you need to be Martha Stewart, bless her soul, and make a full-on meal every night, okay? Just keep it simple. Again, your kids don't need to have these incredibly, thought-out dishes that you spend hours creating. Sometimes all they need is a couple of boiled eggs on a plate with some boiled broccoli, a few pieces of fruit, and a little bit of avocado or something, just little bits and pieces of what they will eat that fits under each element of protein, vegetables, carbohydrates, and healthy fats. Keep it simple, all right? You might even repeat what you had for lunch for dinner. You might be so full from having breakfast and lunch that you have a small dinner of Greek yogurt with some berries. Do you know what I mean? Keep it simple, but don't skip. Because when we don't have anything, and then we go and eat something like a scone or, just a croissant on its own, we spike our blood sugar levels, our cravings increase, we eat more sugar, and that's not good for our mood. It's not good for our gut health. Okay? So try and keep it as friendly as possible. And if you click the link below in the show notes, I've got a whole lot of free guides there for you, recipes, guides on how to get you started with better gut health and putting these systems in place. Okay? All the tools are there for you in the show notes. It's just a matter of you taking that action. All right. I also want to also kind of reiterate and leave you with this closing message of reducing pressure around being perfect and having perfect gut health, because you don't need to have expensive supplements or complicated protocols or extreme restriction or hours of meal prep, because gut health is built through daily habits, and small actions that are repeated consistently is what's going to create the change. Your gut will respond well to regular meals, a variety of plant foods with polyphenols, fiber, adequate protein, hydration, sleep, movement, and stress support. So these are simple habits, right? And if they're done often, they are powerful and they're going to make the biggest change. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on supplements. Honestly, I honestly think that it's one of the biggest haves. Some of the best medicine we have is from the food that we eat, the lifestyle that we live, the community that we surround ourselves in, and our happiness. All of that is beautiful medicine. The market is just extremely overloaded with different types of drugs and herb medicines and things like that, which can serve a purpose in a short period of time in someone's life. But we do not always need to be rushing to the pharmacy to find the next thing I can take for the thing I'm feeling. Sometimes we just need to look at the food we're eating. We need to look at our stress and our sleep. We need to look at, are we drinking enough water? And if we start doing all of that and feel better, we know that it was that was causing us to feel that way. okay? Just remember that there are always, 9 times out of 10, there's always a way to make yourself feel better when it comes to your nutrition, okay? When it comes to your lifestyle and the things that you do to stay healthy. So if you're a busy mum, I want you to remember that your health still matters, your energy matters, your digestion matters, and your well-being matters. Supporting your gut is not about adding more pressure. It's about creating small systems that support you, because when mums feel well, families benefit. And when your body feels supported, everything feels easier. So I just want you to remember this. You are so worth the investment in yourself and your health. The washing can wait. The windows can wait. The phone call can wait. The emails can wait another 5 minutes. They're not going anywhere. But your health is so important. And that's what you need to prioritize. That is what I want you to focus on, is you, yourself, and your health. Because when you put yourself first, when you put that oxygen mask on before you put others on, you can survive, you can thrive, and you can actually function. And then you can help others even better. And I know that as a mum, that is something that is so important to you, is the ability to be able to help others, to help your children, to be there for them. But you've also got to be there for yourself first. Okay? I hope this podcast episode has resonated with you. It has helped you understand how you can actually implement some quite easy little tools to improve your gut health that don't mean a whole entire overhaul overnight. It doesn't mean you need to go and buy the latest gut health supplement. I'm not trying to sell you any supplements here. I'm just trying to sell you, literally, a method that works incredibly well for your overall health and well-being. And if you went and listened to all my podcast episodes, read all my blogs, downloaded all my free guides, you literally would have all the tools right there in your hands to make that change. Now, I know making that change is not always easy on your own, which is why I do offer coaching. And if you do wish and desire to have someone on your side helping you move through these times and to start implementing these tools, then check the show notes below on how we can work together. I have a small intake that I do look after using my app online, which will help you to implement a lot of these tools that we're talking about. However, if you're pretty good at doing things at your own pace, like I said, all the resources, the podcasts, the blog posts, there's so much research that I've done and put together to ensure that you've always got the most up-to-date information when it comes to your health and your well-being and your nutrition. So download all of those, use them. They're there for you to use. There's a gift from me to you. So make sure you do take advantage of it. Thank you so much for listening to the Well Body Podcast. It's been so awesome to have you listen in. Thank you so much. If you liked this podcast episode, then please do give me a 5-star review or even share it with a friend. Until next time, have the most amazing day, evening, morning, whenever it is that you're listening to this podcast, and I look forward to having you in the next one. Thanks for listening to the Well Body Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave me a review or share it with someone who needs to hear it. You can find more support, resources, and information on my website at www.beyondthebody.co. Until next time, I look forward to having you in the next episode.